Skritt Thinking, Skritt Thinking, Skritt Thinking, 5 episodes one.
Hi there and welcome to a new show we call Skritt Thinking, where 5 of us from the Guild Wars 2 community get together to talk about everything Guild Wars 2, including interviews with other members of the community, professional overviews and stuff like that. Everything Guild Wars 2 related we're going to bring to you. 5 of us from all over the world get together every episode to talk about whatever we like, whatever we think that you or the members of the community will enjoy. So to kick off the first episode of this brand new show, we have an interview from Ray Magnus with a rather young Guild Wars 2 or future Guild Wars 2 player. Jordan, take a look.
Hello, Ray Magnus here, and today I'll be interviewing Jordan. She is a future Guild Wars 2 player. And say hello, Jordan. Alright. So, out of all of the races in Guild Wars 2, which one is your favorite?
The Char.
The Char. Now, why do you like the Char?
Because he's cute.
You like the Char because they're cute. What makes them cute?
Because they're so nice and they're different colors.
They're so nice and they're different colors. Alright, apparently she doesn't know about the war side of it. Alright, now, out of all 8 professions, which profession do you like the best?
The Warrior Char.
You like the Warrior Char. Ah, so are you a big fan of Ritlock Brimstone? Yeah? You like him?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, what is it that you like about him?
Well, I want him to be white and I want him to be different than the one he's already.
Okay, so you wish that Ritlock Brimstone was actually white. That's an interesting idea. It might look a little funny though.
Well, I'll keep the rest of him on the same one.
Yeah? Okay. Now let me ask you this. What would you name your Char Warrior?
Well, I want him to named Princess because I just want him to be a girl.
Oh, so you're going to make a female Char Warrior named Princess? Okay. So then let me ask you this. What colors would you make your Char?
White,
Okay.
red,
Okay.
pink, and blue.
White, red, pink, and blue. Now, if you could only pick 2 colors, which 2 colors would you choose?
Green and yellow.
Wait, okay, so you liked the white, red, pink, and blue, but you're going to choose green and yellow.
Well, actually, I might like pink and green.
Okay, so you're going to go pink and green?
Red and pink.
Red and pink. Red and pink?
Mhm.
Those are, okay.
And white.
And wait, no, but wait, 2. Wait, red, pink, and white. But if you only had 2, which 2 would you choose?
Red and pink.
Red and pink. Okay. I'm liking where this is headed. This is good. This is very good. Okay, so in your personal story, you have to choose which war band you're part of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you choose the Iron Legion, the Ash Legion, or the Blood Legion?
The Ash Legion.
The Ash Legion. Now, why would you choose the Ash Legion?
Because the other one, the bleed one, is not really good.
Yes, bleeding is not good. No. So yeah, I would avoid that one too. And then, what about the Iron Legion? What's wrong with them?
What's the Iron Legion about?
Well, here, let's turn you around so the camera can see and all the people can see you. There you go. So you just don't know anything about the Iron Legion. No. So Ash Legion. Sounds good. Would you choose? Well, we'll simplify the question. Would you choose a helmet or the shoulder pads as a warrior?
The shoulder pads.
You like the shoulder pads? So no helmet. You want your enemies to see you coming. Yeah? Okay, I like that.
I'm ready to fight.
Yes! High five. That was awesome. Okay. So then let me ask you this. Do you use your dignity, your charm, or your ferocity?
Ferocity.
Ah, okay. So let's get this straight. You will be a ferocious female Char who is red and pink, who has shoulder pads because you don't need a helmet because you want to see You want your enemies to see the look in your eye when you're ready to fight, and you're going to have icicles, and you're part of the Ash Legion. Does that about cover it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Oh, and your name's Princess.
Yes.
Yes?
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia?
Yeah. It's a girl.
Yeah, I know it's a girl, but I think you have the wrong game.
Well, I know, but it's still Guild Wars 2.
I guess it could be Guild Wars 2. This is true. Okay. Now, Jordan, I forgot to ask you. How old are you?
I'm 4.
You're 4.
And my turn wants to be 15.
And your char is going to be 15. Ah, so it's a cub, in a sense.
No, it's a grown-up like you.
Oh, wow. I guess you do need to be a grown-up if you're gonna go into battle and whatnot. Yeah? Yeah? With your icicles? Yeah. Are you going to have any friends in Guild Wars 2?
Yeah.
Who?
Leia.
Uh-huh.
Fred.
Okay.
And 2 more.
Okay, so you're going to have Leia, Fred, and 2 more friends?
Mm-hmm.
That's...
W.
Okay.
And Elephant.
So your 4 friends that you're going to have play with you in Guild Wars 2 is Leia, Fred, W, and Elephant.
Yes.
And then and Princess is the 5th person.
Yes.
And that makes up your party of 5. I like where your head's at. That's good. It's very good. All right. This was Jordan. Say goodbye. And this is Vermagnus signing off for this Guild Wars 2 interview. Until next time.
Thank you very much, Ray Magnus. Wonderful interview there with the young Jordan. Next up, we've got a brand new single, if you will, all the way from Australia. If you've ever wanted to know about the boons in Guild Wars 2, here's your chance. Boons by Snuff up next.
Boons, what do they do? Before I wrote this song, I simply had no clue. Fury, it gives you a better chance to critically attack. And I don't mean complain about the voice acting. And if you've got more fury, it will just last longer. It will not make you stronger. The symbol is a little starbursty, explosion-y thingo. Mine, it's represented by a sword for the fight. It gives you a strong attack, and the power of this, it will stack. Retaliation stacks in the same way, but it will make the person attacking you smack themselves in the face. It's a symbol of a fist, starting at the fingers and ending at the wrist. Boom, what will he do? It's not just an opening batsman from the 80s. Aegis can only be used by guardians or those wearing the Italians, but there's no gymnasts in Guild Wars 2. It blocks the next attack. Guardians have your back. I guess they've got your front as well. Yeah. The next two both stack in duration. Swiftness looks like a boot and makes you run around faster than get funky. Listening to Master Blaster. Bigger, don't you pull that trigger unless you want to roll around a lot. It increases endurance, and its symbol is a leaf. I guess ArenaNet is in Washington. Tree huggers? Boom. What do they do? They're a part of a boat that's moved round by the ship's crew. The last two are both quite monkey. They'll heal you a bit, but they aren't slam dunky. There's no dedicated healer in Guild Wars 2. They also stack in duration and regeneration. That's the one with 3+ signs. It regenerates health. It regenerates health. Yep. Protection Boon gives you a little bit of affection, a nice boony hug that reduces damage by a third, yeah. Reduces damage by a third, yeah. Boons, what do they do? I'm hoping this song has given you a clue. I said bones, that's what they do. That's what they do.
So there we have it, Boons by the as always talented Snuff. However, nerd-inspired music isn't Snuff's only speciality. If you're interested in the warrior profession, then we have an overview on the skills and how they work from Snuff. Coming up next, take a look.
There are 5 types of warrior skills that I'm going to cover today. The first ones of these are what the wiki lists as physical. And look, I'm just going to go in the same order that they do it on the wiki because, look, they know what they're on about, and I really don't. So physical skills are things like stomping, kicking, charging, and there's another one that I can't pronounce, so I'm just going to say there's another one that I can't pronounce. Next up we have signets. All signets in Guild Wars 2 actually have a passive effect and an active effect. So they do something all the time until you use them, and then they have to recharge. The signet of might is a good example. It improves your power passively, and then when you use it, it gives you might. Has to recharge, and then, of course, starts giving you power again, etc., etc. Next up we have shouts, and shouts are basically debuffs or buffs. Some of them help your allies, some of them just help yourself, and some of them are obviously dishing conditions out to your enemies. Can I just shout something? Actually, there's also a shout skill where you buy everyone a drink. It's not in the game yet. It's pretty controversial. But then we have banners. I really like the banner system, actually. It's probably my favourite thing about the warrior. I don't really like the warrior.
You're dead to me.
In general. But I like banners. I think they're cool. Yeah, the banners are all basically something that you plant in the ground, and once they're there, they give boons to whoever's, and I think they're pretty cool. Last one I need to mention are stances. That's where a warrior says, "I am never eating cheese again." Stances are pretty typical in all sorts of games, and it's something that you'd recognise from the original Guild Wars. It does things like have you not be able to be knocked over, or improves your quickness and things like that. So I hope I've given you a little bit of understanding of the 5 types of utility skills for warriors in Guild Wars 2.
And again, thank you Snuff for that. The warrior certainly has a lot of skills up his sleeve. Definitely going to be a tough profession to be when used properly strategically. Now we all know one of the features that just stands out with Arena there is its incredibly talented art team. It's not an inspiration for other artists, but it's visually stunning and a big part of the game. We now have more on this from Kitty Bayan in the USA.
Hey guys, this is Kitty Bayan reporting to you from the US today. And today I'm here to talk about the painterly aesthetic of Guild Wars 2. So far this game has been completely brought to life by this new style that they're implementing. They're making their cutscenes out of paintings. They're making your gameplay somewhat into paintings when they have those special dialogues between the characters and the NPCs, and the artwork is absolutely breathtaking. Instead of being cartoony World of Warcraft and hiring just a bunch of different people for commissions to do, artwork for a trading card game, every now and then a board game, instead of that, they have a very unified art department who are working together to create some mind-blowing aesthetics. I mean, we've got Kakai Kotaki here, and here, obviously, he focuses more on figures than anything else, whereas Daniel Doisu handles a lot of the environments, I've noticed. He creates a lot of, I don't want to call them background paintings because they're not just that. Instead of making them backgrounds, he makes them environments. He draws you in to the painting. He makes you feel like you're there, which is something I completely respect as an artist myself, because, you know, I always thought like, oh, you know, people hang up paintings in their house. It's a landscape, it's easy on the eyes, you know. Bowl of fruit, it's fruit, you know, what do you want from this? It doesn't mean anything. Daniel Doisu makes his paintings mean something. He makes you feel like you could walk into them and just be in Guild Wars 2. Which I wish could actually happen, but that's crazy. Whereas Kikai Kotaki, the style of his figures is completely inspiring. It's like, it seems quick. You know, you can see his brushstrokes, you can see his layers, you can see where he refines his work, and at the same time, none of it looks sloppy. It looks extremely well put together. And then in his super refined paintings, such as these, you know, they're absolutely breathtaking. That's the kind of person that artists want to be. Like, that's the kind of person that artists look up to. And I think that Guild Wars 2 is going to be extremely unique in the sense that they took art and made it a game. This game itself is a piece of artwork, which is fantastic. This is Kid Bayan signing off. See you later.
A great artist perspective there on the concept art, thanks Kitty Bayan. Now in Guild Wars 2 we have a plant-like race called the Sylvaria. However, not all plants in the world are very happy about this. We've got a special report from Snuff now on some very angry plants.
This is Snuff reporting live from an Australian backyard where many Australian native plants are protesting their lack of inclusion in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, look mate, us eucalypts, we're one of the most iconic tree in the world, the gum tree, you know. Koalas can't live without us and stuff. We should be in Guild Wars 2. Look, I might just be a baby Grevillea, but Grevilleas are really cool. We have some nice orange flowers that come out in summer, and birds like to eat from us. We should be in Guild Wars 2. Yeah, I'm a Callistaman, mate, and look, I'm just ticked off that we're not in the game, you know. Callistamans, we're awesome. We got some fantastic red flowers. Yeah, hi matey. I'm a lily pilly. I should be in the game too. I'm fantastic. I'm a great shrub and I grow quite big, you know?
Plants of Australia have obviously spoken here today, and will we be stuck with another game without these plants be represented? Or will ArenaNet come to their senses? This is Snuff, signing out.
Thank you, Snuff. Obviously the plants have spoken, and ArenaNet, we beg of you, please let these plants be in the game before they start an all-out riot. And to help persuade you, I'm going to do my best Australian accent, you know me. I'll stick to being British and just make some tea. It's not, the Australian thing isn't working out clearly. Next up, we have another warrior overview, this time of the classes weapons from Ray Magnus. Take it.
Huzzah! Hello everybody, Magnus here, and today we are doing the weapon rack for the warrior. This is just a general overview of the weapons that the warrior has, and we're just going to be going over a little bit of what they're pretty much used for. First up is the greatsword. This is a damage-heavy weapon. It's got a lot of focus fire and some bits of AoE mixed in with it, melee AoE that is. You've got skills that can grant might, and you can also inflict vulnerability and crippling on your opponents. Both really good for yourself, because obviously if your enemies are crippled and vulnerable, it makes killing them so much more easier. Next is the hammer. It's very, very control oriented, and one that I will personally be using in competitive PvP. It's just heavy crowd control. It's going to really, really make your opponents mad, which in turn will make you extremely glad, right? Doesn't have any bonuses that'll grant you, but it will seriously inflict multiple conditions on your foes, such as stunning, crippling, weakening, and definitely knockdowns and knockbacks. All of which will make your opponent quite frustrated, and in turn allow you the edge to get that killing blow. And I hate to say it, but I mean, if you are in that situation where you just need to, GTFO, A hammer is definitely one of those things. If you got the knockback or the knockdown, or even the cripple, it'll give you that chance to just, get out of there. Warriors out there, don't do it. Stand your ground. Go the way of the 300. You know you're outmatched. You know you're outnumbered. You know you're going to die. Hold your ground. You know what I mean? Just take it in the face, and that might give your opponent, your teammates, a chance to either turn the tide or save themselves. But you know what? As a warrior, it is your duty to go ahead and just take it in the face. That's just what we do. You know what I mean? Hopefully you never find yourself in that situation, but the hammer will let you handle it better. You know what I mean? So with that said, let's go to the longbow. Definitely a nice ranged AoE output machine. Okay? It inflicts pretty much just burning goodness. So lots of dots. That's pretty much all it's used for, you know what I mean? So if you want to just do that fiery, wrathful, attack on your opponents, the longbow is definitely the way to go. Next up is the rifle. Rifles are pretty control-based. You're pretty much able to inflict a decent variety of conditions on your foes. You're talking bleeds, vulnerabilities, crippling, and even with the stock butt, you can do the knockback. So that's definitely going to give you advantage to pop back into range to finish off your opponents, or hopefully your teammates will converge for you. Next is my very, very personal favorite, the axe. Just, its pure purpose is utter damage. Alright? It's got things in there for help you crit better, and with those crits will grant you extra bonuses. You can get fury out of it. It'll even inflict crippling, which is nice. So that way your opponents can't get away. So you can just continuously, stack on the damage more and more and more. And I, for one, cannot wait to get in game and dual wield my twin reavers. Yeah, that'll be some good times. So next up is the mace, control-oriented weapon. Doesn't really grant you any bonuses, but it definitely inflicts stun. It can weaken and cause your opponents to be vulnerable, all of which is really good for yourself and for teammates. It just helps them kill those bad guys easier. Sword, your basic damage output weapon. Super heavy on the bleeds, for sure. It's got a cripple in there, but man, the sword is all about bleeding your opponents. You know what I mean? So if you're ever in one of those fights when you're a group of guys, just, stack on the bleeds on all of them, and then just watch them all drop one by one. It's just going to be good times there. Now we're going to move on to the offhand weapons. Your shield. Yeah, you pretty much know what it's good for. Your skill 1 will stun. Your skill 2 will block. So it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a good defensive thing to have. And then last thing is the Warhorn. It's really the only support weapon that the warrior has for an option, and it's got a skill to grant swiftness, and in doing so will actually remove some effects like chill, cripple, and immobilize. So that's really good. And then the second skill will grant you vigor while also applying vulnerability to your opponents. So again, that's a nice one because both skills, they're twofold. They do A and B, and it's at the same time. So that's really good to have. And that's it for the warrior weapon rack. Again, a nice just general overview of the weapons that the warrior has. Stay tuned for more weapon rack segments where we'll go ahead and follow other professions and their tools of the trade. And for now, this is Vermagnus signing off. Back to you, Jason.
Very, very interesting. Thank you, Ray Magnus. I personally can't wait to cut everything into little tiny axey pieces with my overpowered axe, which probably won't be overpowered because we're in there or awesome. Please make it overpowered. So we've got one last short segment for you here on Skritt Thinking. Kitty Bayan is going to interview one more member of the community, Nicole. See what she thinks about the game. Let's have a look.
Hi, this is Kitty Bayan reporting to you from the US of A. I'm here with Nicole, who is a player of Guild Wars 1. Even though she's not a very hardcore gamer, Nicole, would you elaborate on that?
I don't play very many games.
You don't have an exit. The issue is, though, is because of the fact that you're
Well, what attracted you?
Well, my cousin had gotten it and couldn't play it, so she gave it to us, and then I started playing it, and I found out some of my friends played it, and it was fun and simple.
Simple?
Yeah.
Okay, what was fun about it? Like, did you like the classes? Did you like the armor? What was appealing about Guild Wars?
I liked the story aspect of it.
So the really cool cinematic quest line.
Yeah.
So cool, instead of just a dungeon grind.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about Guild Wars 2?
I'm excited.
You're gonna play it?
Yes.
What class are you gonna play?
Probably a
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Guild Wars 2? What makes it different from these other games that you're choosing not to play?
That would be one.
I guess it has, like I said, I like the story a lot.
You never actually go right.
I think it's more interesting and complex than most other games.
That's a good word for it. All right. Well, this is Nicole. I'm Kitty Bayan. Signing off. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Kitty Bayan and Nicole there for that wonderful interview. I've got to agree with you, the story aspect of Guild Wars 2 really is very appealing, and I just can't wait to burn down some orphanages and kill some hospital patients in the human storyline. Well, oh God, that's mean of me. Anyway, this is sadly the end of today's Skritt Thinking episodes, our first episode, so obviously we would love some feedback if you enjoyed this show, and maybe any feedback you could give about the platform you use and how we can improve on it. So if you want to, don't forget to leave a comment down below and even like the video, thumbs it up. I don't know what they use on YouTube anymore. Things have changed since I was a young kid. Oh, those were the days. You know, there was the day where we had to rate videos on YouTube instead of liking them. Don't know where I'm going with this. Thank you for watching Skritt Thinking, and we'll see you next time for another 30-minute show of Guild Wars 2 fueled fun.
Spoons, what do they do? Before I wrote this song, I simply had no clue. Fury, it gives you a better chance to critically attack. And I don't mean complain about the voice acting. And if you've got more fury, it will just last longer. It will not make you stronger. The symbol is a little starbursty explosion-y thingo. Mine, it's represented by a sword for the fight. It gives you a strong attack, and the power of this, it will stack. Retaliation stacks in the same way, but it will make the person attacking you smack themselves in the face. It's a symbol of a fist, starting at the fingers and ending at the wrist. Boom, what will he do? It's not just an opening batsman from the 80s. Aegis can only be used by guardians or those wearing the Atonians, but there's no gymnasts in Guild Wars 2. It blocks the next attack. Guardians have your back. I guess they've got your front as well. Yeah. The next two both stack in duration. Swiftness looks like a boot and makes you run around faster than you're funky, listening to Master Blaster. Bigger, don't you pull that trigger unless you want to roll around a lot. It increases endurance, and its symbol is a leaf. I guess ArenaNet is in Washington. Tree huggers? Boom. What do they do? They're a part of a boat that's moved round by the ship's crew. The last two are both quite monkey. They'll heal you a bit, but they aren't slam dunky. There's no dedicated healer in Guild Wars 2. They also stack in duration and regeneration. That's the one with 3+ signs. It regenerates health. It regenerates health. Yep. Protection gives you a little bit of affection. A nice boony hug that reduces damage by a third, yeah. Reduces damage by a third, yeah. Bones, what do they do? I'm hoping this song has given you a clue. I said bones, that's what they do. That's what they do.